Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Says podcast. I am your host, Garrett Williams, and today we got a very special episode number 100 for you guys. We've got a slew of characters on the screen here. Of course, we've got my usual co-host, Kyle Henning. Kyle, how are you doing today, sir?
Good. It's nice. I can see everybody, and now everybody's going to be able to see us.
Yep, exactly. We've got the YouTube going on for episode 100 here. Obviously, we also have Arrowhead Tom here, as always. Tom, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I've finally come to grips that we're making the jump to video, and so I have to wear pants for these now. But other than that, I'm doing really well. Excited to celebrate episode 100 with you guys.
Yes, sir. And then also joining us on screen, you can see Mr. Countryboi567. How are you doing today, sir?
What's up?
So we are here, episode 100. We've somehow managed to get through 100 episodes of this beautiful podcast here over the course of the past 2 years or so that we've done this.
I feel like it, does it?
It's gone by quickly. I don't know how we've managed to get up to 100 episodes. There's not even that's a lot of episodes. So that's honestly shout out to us for taking it this far and to many continued episodes past this. We're just starting out here, and I think we got a good thing going for us. So we appreciate. Yeah.
We're excited that you can see us now because we've been talking about YouTube with you guys for a while. We've got a lot of people that have asked us about YouTube. Well, we're coming to YouTube, and we kind of had to have Country on because I was talking to Country the other day about listening to the podcast, and he's like, "Man, y'all got to get on YouTube because, it's really hard for me to go over to these podcast apps and use one of them to listen to the show." So since we are going to YouTube, I figured who better to have on for the 100th episode than Country. We did have a bunch of other guests we invited. We had to do this fairly late in the evening, so obviously this is not going to be live for you folks. You will be getting a recorded version. But there will be, at some point during this, some videos from folks that they have been kind enough to send in for the 100th episode. And we'll talk to Country about that portion of it when we get to it. But first, Garrett, we should probably talk about Sunday.
Yes, Sunday was a Sunday was a game. The Chiefs and Denver Broncos ended up for the first time this season, and didn't go probably as we initially expected. But
first 35 minutes went basically how I thought it was going to.
It seemed like it started out, that would be going in that right direction, but it went downhill kind of quickly. Country, I know you were watching the game just like all of us. What were your reactions kind of as that game progressed through the second, third quarter, and how the team kind of seemed to lose some life there?
I said on the Kingdom Kast episode, as soon as that ball hit Trent McDuffie in the face, we should have known how that game was going to go. It was like, it's great. Oh, there goes a mistake. Uh-oh. And then it's good again. So
it's just going to be one of those games.
I hate to be that guy that everybody knows me as, but the positive outlook is they all throughout. They weathered the storm. And it was a very mini Russell Wilson went back in the time machine and came back to be Russell Wilson that we all know and love. And Pat helped them out a little bit, as evidenced by what he said. But they weathered the storm. They stood tall, and they came out of it with a victory, which is what's the main goal here? It's not about numbers. It's about W's. We got 10 W's. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
Speaking of 10 W's, I believe that now sets a record for Andy Reid, another record.
8 straight.
Consecutive 10-win seasons in the last.
Crazy.
I don't think he's had but one non-10-win season with the Chiefs, and I think it was like the freaking first one, wasn't it?
I think the second one, maybe 9-7.
Second
one,
one,
9-7 1 year. That was 1 year.
First of all, to Country's point, all they do since Andy Reid has got here is win football games, first and foremost. Also, they did score 27 points on that Broncos defense in like 20 minutes.
That is true.
And that's supposedly a really good defense.
where they were number
So,
one.
yeah, I mean, you guys have taken the optimistic approach.
And
I
then we
think.
can talk about the second half of the football game.
Yeah. Listen, there were some weird things that just went the way. Sometimes the ball bounces, in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. Here's my
Sometimes your MVP
my
quarterback
only
the other team
yeah
3 times for no reason at all that we can't figure out.
my big takeaway, my sole takeaway is if this team's going to be successful in the playoffs, they have got to learn how to finish. They have to finish sacks. They have to finish tackling. They've got to finish, and they did it at the end of the game, right? Isaiah Pacheco, picked up that last first down, but they got it. And so that was, we ended on that positive note or whatever, but the teams, especially on defense, and that's a product of it being a younger team, but they have to learn to finish, especially, when you've got an opportunity to take somebody down in the backfield. Joe Burrow, that's the same thing that's killed them every time they've played him. Russ got away with it too many times. Like, you got to have some better closing speed and hit those guys on defense. So that's my big takeaway. If you're gonna play good playoff football, you gotta finish.
But Tom, you noticed the way you said that they're young, and you kind of just went right along with your answer. Like, we have to dwell. They are young. They play the 5th most rookie snaps out of all the NFL. They are very, very young. I think people are just looking at them like they are vested veterans, and they're just not. We got a lot of rookies. We got Cook, Pacheco, Sky, Josh, Jalen. They're littered with rookies. George, who might be playing like a vet these last few weeks.
McDuffie.
And Trent McDuffie. I always forget about Trent McDuffie. I don't even know.
He doesn't feel like a rookie. He's
same
just
way.
Here's the thing.
Though.
We got a rookie moment out of him on Sunday.
Yeah.
That miscommunication on who to cover in the end zone, go watch that play about 30 times like I have. Watch his reaction when he realizes whose fault it is that Jerry Jeudy is standing butt naked in the end zone.
He knows it's his. Yeah.
There's some shoulders. Shoulders start here, and then they go here, and then he goes.
He's again, that game isn't close if he's in position, right? Like, there's a lot of things that happen and a lot of stupid things that happen, but a lot of this is, as Tom mentioned, the country, they're young. They got to learn some of this. It also doesn't help, like I said when I mentioned the start of this, is when the guy who's the guy decides to go, I don't know what, for 3 throws in a matter of like 10 minutes. And he told you in both the post-game press conference and earlier this week, the first one, he shouldn't have thrown it. He said the second one he was trying to throw into the dirt, which, like, all right, whatever, I guess. I don't necessarily know that I buy that or agree with that sentiment, but if you're going to throw it into the dirt, it can't get Surtain's hand underneath it to keep it up. And then the third one is basically the same thing that happened on the first one. So,
hell of a play by Surtain, though.
And that's fine, and those are great, but if you've got a young defense that has a 27-point lead, your quarterback can't give the other team the ball 3 times. And that happened. And look, we had the conversation with Travis and the fumble in the game a couple games ago, and how nobody really wants to be like, well, it's Travis. It's not his fault. It is his fault. It happened to him. He's a big boy, though. He's one of the superstars on the team. When they make mistakes, guess what? If they get some blame for it, they can handle it. They can deal with this stuff. And Country's talked about it on Kingdom Kast. But, like, when Patrick makes a mistake, it's okay to say Patrick made a mistake. And a lot of people in this fan base struggle with that sentence in general.
And you know why it's comfortable to blame Pat? Because Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, he's going to do a press conference, and he's going to come out and take all the blame.
Whether it is his fault or not.
Yeah.
And now we have Travis doing a podcast on Tuesdays. He's going to come out and take the blame. It's like it's okay to blame them because they're leaders. Their shoulders are big enough to handle this, and they're going to come out and take the blame anyway. It's just like blaming Andy Reid. Well,
Yeah,
he's going to say it was his fault.
Yeah.
every time. So it's like really you're not blaming anybody for real. Like I don't know why fans are so caught up in we can't blame Patrick Mahomes when Patrick Mahomes blames himself more than fans do.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
it's okay to
better.
blame
He's
him.
his own toughest critic.
Yeah, and even still,
Well,
like outside of the 3 interceptions on the day, like
For 300
crazy. Exactly, yeah, like a really like underratedly good game outside of those 3 interceptions. So it's like, you can take the good and the bad from the games. You can say that it was, definitely his fault that it was so close, but also he still played pretty decently to keep us in it.
Or
and
I'll say
it's a rare occurrence. It's not like
Mhm.
he throws 3
Yeah,
interceptions all the time.
yeah,
Like
this is
this is
not the
not
norm.
another Sunday for Pat. It's like
we are not watching Brett Favre where it's 7 touchdowns and 9 interceptions a Sunday. That is not what we are currently observing.
Well, and like I said, so I'm going back to my point of the defense being young. You almost need to have one of these games in the season. Again,
facts.
it's a teaching point, right?
That is
And
true.
so these young guys, as part of their development as a unit, especially on the defense, like it's just so young. But the opportunities to finishing coverage, the miscommunications, and like Country said, at the end of the day, we got the W. So you're okay with this being a teaching game, because even though they won, the one thing that stood out is nobody on that defense was talking like they won, right?
Yeah.
And as much as I critique Frank Clark, he was one of the first ones to say
That
was a terrible performance. We got to do better. And so this defense knows they've got some growing to do, but I'm not. Again, am I worried about their ability to finish and to play, to really finish a play like that? Yes, but they have an opportunity to respond, and they've got several weeks left before the playoffs, and that's the silver lining here.
Yeah, and I'll say this to Tom's point: if they don't tackle, they won't win. Like, I know that sounds really simple, but the tackling we have seen over the last few weeks cannot continue if they want to go deep. They can't. Like, it is what it is. Shooting yourself in the foot and bad tackling, which is also another version of shooting yourself in the foot, missing tackles, not getting the guy on the ground when you can. You cannot do that in the postseason. And if they continue to do those things, then you have some things to be concerned about. But there's a lot of point to, Josh Williams has gotten a lot of trial by fire. Hey, that's their number 1 wide receiver. Good luck. Have fun. Like, there's been some times where he's on an island against some guys, and he's going to learn some things when that happens. And there's going to be times where he has to figure out that they can push off on you with both arms and extend fully, and you can't do that to them. So you have to be able to just, keep running on through that 2-hand forearm shiver to your chest, or the grab on the outside of the jersey, pull on the inside of the jersey, tug you to the other way side of the move that we watched Jamar Chase pull or Keenan Allen pull on it. Like, these kids are going to learn some moves that they've never seen before, because who's not pulling that move off? Any wide receiver in college ever, for the most part.
Yeah, you got some tricky guys in the NFL.
These dudes are professionals for a reason. We talk about the difference in NFL and college all the time. It applies on the offense. It applies on the defense. It applies on the line. It applies in the secondary. It is a universal thing. So
yeah, it's gonna eventually it's gonna catch up.
They've got to learn, and they're going to learn.
Yeah, I'd like the point of kind of making it is a learning experience for them, because they're only how many weeks into are we? 14.
Some of these boys have played less than 14 games in the NFL.
Exactly. It's like, so you've got to expect them to make those adjustments eventually. And so, being placed in a situation where you're, just getting put back onto the field over and over because the quarterback throws 3 interceptions, like, you got to just learn how to overcome that. It's just part of the NFL. That's inevitably, like, winning in the NFL is not easy. That's just the thing. So
I take a lot of flack for saying that I think the Chiefs don't really get beat. They beat themselves a lot.
Oh, definitely.
I just can't shake it. They still haven't got beat. They've beaten themselves 3 times at least. They've probably beaten themselves 5 or 6 times and end up winning the game anyway. But they've definitely beaten themselves a lot through their losses. You can point to points where they beat themselves, dumb penalties, bad special teams, bad tackling,
Very bad special teams.
untimely turnovers. Like they beat themselves. I don't, unless they beat themselves, they will win the game. Period. I just believe that in my heart.
The turnover thing this year has been just weird. And again, young defense, but like just for them to be so negative in the turnover margin, like as a whole, and it's just like they went, I think, several weeks, between their interceptions, and they haven't forced a lot of turnovers, and that's hard, and some of those happen, and then the special teams has been, I think that, like you said, there's some times where they probably beat themselves, but still pulled out the W because they are such a talented team. And they can come back from those things. But again, that's an area where the turnovers, you've got to get under control, especially once you hit the postseason. You will be one and done if you don't get that under control in the postseason, because all those teams are good.
But do they cover better? Are they better in covers now, but they're not getting the turnovers?
I think they are.
Is there a bit of a balance there?
Yeah, I don't think they had a lot of turnovers last year either. I think it's, I think the coverage is improved. I think the other part is, a lot of their turnovers came off of pressure and, sacks and that type of thing. And I don't remember the last time the Chiefs forced a fumble on a running back. It's been a minute. So it's just like little things like, everyone's like, wait a minute, when was the last one? The strip sacks and some of those I think have been taken away and with stupid penalties, but
imaginary penalties. Yeah, we can talk about that.
And I don't even mean just on defense. I mean on special teams. When's the last time they forced a special teams turnover? On a punt return or a kick return. So there's just across the board, there's probably some meat on the bone there to take advantage of if they can figure it out.
I think what you're seeing is like a lot of the time, the coverage unit is really good, but the line's a little slow getting there, so there's a completion somewhere. Or the pressure's really good, but the coverage, somebody slipped or made a mistake, and somebody was open so fast that the pressure being really good didn't matter, so the ball gets to where it needs to be on time. So we've seen a lot of the two pieces of this defense not meshing and being good at the same time to force, because that's what you basically need to force a turnover. You need pressure to get home and a guy to be in the right spot to force a lot of it, because we just talked about it. They're professionals. It's a very good group.
It's a slim margin of error that you're getting in the NFL. It's not like you're gonna have badly thrown, wild passes that are just like bad. Like a lot of times the quarterbacks you're going up against, they're gonna make the right throw probably 90% of the time in the game. So it's really about getting those small opportunities that to capitalize on and making them swim. I mean, shoot, Willie Gay had the interception in this game that he took to the house, which that was a crazy interception.
Was that the defensive player of the year? Not
Willie Gay?
Just the Chiefs.
I still think that.
Have y'all not watched that play on repeat?
That play is crazy.
Nothing. It's easy to forget because it happened so early in the season. That 99-yard pick six by Jalen Watson, that's going to be tough to beat.
That is true.
That's fair.
Forget about it because it happened so early. It was so much more important to that game.
That is true.
That situation for a 7th-round rookie to be playing in that spot to get that pick and take it to the house at home. I don't think you're going to top that this year unless something really special happens.
Sure.
Willie had a little bit more degree of difficulty though.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
That is a linebacker, not a safety, not a corner, on a pass rush, stopping, jumping, turning around behind himself, sticking one hand up in the air, picking it up out of the air, bringing it down to 2, stiff arming Russell Wilson, and running off with the football for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
the stiff arm on Russell Wilson was just chef's kiss.
The
Like, that was
athletic freaking ability.
it was beautiful.
I don't know that people understand how ridiculous of an athletic play. Like, the athletic ability required to be able to do all of those things in one motion is not normal. That dude
No.
is a freak. We have talked about it. He will get that's one of the guys that's going to get more turnovers. The more he gets comfortable, the more he figures it out, which he has more and more this year. He's had a little rough stretch the last few games. He played better against Denver. He's extremely athletic. You're going to watch plays like that. They're going to get turnovers off of stuff he does that is like, holy crap, how did he do that? And
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the video, Patrick Mahomes' reaction to him making that play on the sideline in real time is, frankly, basically my exact reaction to it when it happened, which was, oh my Lord. What
Yeah,
did
that was-
he just do? That's where, like, I
can you
get the
say-
importance of the Watson one, but, like, from an impressive level of holy crap, what a play, I'm taking Willie's. Watson
Can
was
you
in the right
say
place,
that-
made the right read.
Can you say that we and the team collectively said, we got this game?
Oh, I think
I think we do that a lot.
I think they got up big. They knew the other team was bad. They knew that offense wasn't very good and Russell hadn't been good. Patrick was like, yeah, we're pretty comfortable, and then took the foot off, fell asleep a little bit,
Exactly.
went
The
to take a
Chiefs-
nap going into halftime, never woke up really coming out of halftime.
The Chiefs
Shout-
really do
shout
just
out
have
to-
a problem with taking their foot off the gas. Like,
I've made the
it's just like
comparison.
the self-recognition that, like, it's like they almost like they don't want to go too crazy and like run up the points like super high, but also then they just start doing little tiny weird stuff and don't really try as hard, and it's just like,
Hey, Tom. Hey, Country. You remember when KU used to always play down to, like, literally every opponent that they played, no matter who it was? Like, they could be playing Bethune-Cookman, and that game would be 71-70 for no reason at all, and then they would go play Duke and win by 20. You remember them? Remember those
Yeah.
KU days? How they did that,
They
like,
still
all
do
the
it.
time? Well, they still do it some. It's not as bad as it used to be, though, because it used to be all the time. They had some super talented teams that cost themselves some tournament games and some runs and deep championship runs because they play down to opponents, man. And it's not even playing down to them. It's just like if it wasn't a big deal for them, a lot of them sometimes they just didn't show up. And I don't want to say that that's necessarily how this team is, but man, they showed us this a lot. If the game doesn't seem
Yeah.
to be ultra important, they're not locked in for 60 minutes. They may be locked in until they think they've got it under control. And then it's like, yeah, right, we got this one. And as to Tom's point, most of the time, and Country said it earlier, most of the time, they win those games, even though they probably beat themselves in some of them. After being up enough that they shouldn't have been able to, they probably could have cost themselves those games. But they win them so often that they're like, well, why would we do anything different in the regular season? It works. So
that is kind of true.
it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. But for me, like, I really do wish they would just come out and fully stomp holes in teams occasionally and get up by 50 and then put the backups in, and then you are done for the
Exactly.
day. Like,
Then
I
you
don't
can really coast.
They might do the Texans like that this week.
Yeah, we're gonna get into
Country,
that.
if I'm
but-
being honest with you, that should be the strategy. Houston, Denver, Vegas, in order.
Do it to
I
all.
All
see.
mountains.
So those
Well,
things only happen though, and this is the Andy Reid part of it. Those things only happen because Andy Reid's like he will take his foot off the gas. It's a fair criticism on
He
offense,
also,
but we see those when the team plays a complete game. So when special teams and defense chips in, I think of that playoff game against Houston, the first one that they won without before Patrick, complete game, opening kickoff, offense, defense,
Yeah.
like
and
that's
when they
what
go
we
out and
need.
fully
It's not just.
execute,
Yeah, it's not just blow the doors off on offense because I think they
But
could,
that's
you
the
Yeah,
you could
60
make the
minutes.
argument. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
That's what I was saying. We're on the same page though, because what I'm talking about is the part where they don't focus. It's not one side of the ball that doesn't focus for 60 minutes. The whole team plays for 35 minutes and then goes, yeah, we're done. And I'm not necessarily just talking about the players. Go look at the gameplay. Everybody's like, oh, why is the play calling so bad? They aren't showing anything. Offensively, defensively, special teams, nothing. They're not putting anything on tape. As soon as the coaching staff thinks they're comfortable, we go back to the same 50. It is like watching Cliff Kingsbury start calling offenses again all of a sudden. Hey, come on. I mean, what are we? We're not. This isn't new. They do this. They've done this.
This is how they
regardless
This
of
is how they
quarterback.
operate.
So
unless Pat is motivated, like
well,
Tampa
here's
Bay.
the other part. If he doesn't throw those interceptions, they win this game by 40.
Yeah, that is true. It's just like super. It just goes back to beating ourselves. You know, it's like it's just super
Again,
minor
they
things,
win-
minor little missed throws that end up costing us 21 points.
all three of those interceptions, they were walking down the field. Like, at minimum, you lost 9 points and gave them 21.
Yeah, but they.
But, like,
shout out to the defense for not even letting them capitalize really on it too hard.
If he doesn't throw those, like, they win by 40 points, guys. And we're not even,
so-
like...
Also, that's a game we've lost in the past
Yep.
on a late Ryan Suckup field goal or something like that. I'm thinking about that Tennessee game. They came in and beat us one day after Tyreek.
Yeah, I don't want to think about
had
that.
one rushing attempt. He rushes towards the touchdown, and then we just play around with him all day, and Ryan Suckup comes and wins the game. But they've lost those games in the past.
Multiple times.
A lot of times. Heartbreaking times. They did it last year a couple times. So
And yet, I would ask the pulse in this room watching that game, were you ever worried they were losing that game?
not a second.
I was actually.
Hey,
mostly because my parlays, I had Chiefs money line in all
betting is
my
different.
parlays.
That doesn't count.
I had them in all of my parlays, and I was just sitting there like, man, I was about to both watch the Chiefs win and win all my parlays. To now I'm gonna lose, like they're gonna lose, and I'm gonna lose all my. Like I was in a bad spot for like
is sometimes
15 minutes.
why betting
you know?
on your own team can be negative for your health.
But I can't.
Yeah,
do it.
but I also hit, so it's okay.
Hey,
they end
I
up
got
hitting pretty
something-
good for them. So
I got to say this before I forget it. I know we've been on Russell Wilson's head all year, deservedly so. He's having a terrible year. But shout out to Russell Wilson for recognizing Jerry Jeudy needs to get involved, and he was ready to take over.
Not playing horrible.
Motivated to play in this game.
What was the giveaway, country? What was the giveaway for Jerry Jeudy wanting the football?
I don't know. I think when he bumped the ref and threw his helmet and threw every teammate off him, every coach.
Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about that? Because that.
Yes, we can also get into that.
Look, man,
I'm segueing.
Segue.
Look, Tom, yeah, we're talking about it because I'm sick of not talking about this stuff. If we're going to get called out for talking about officials when they're bad, I'm going to go ahead and actually call them out when they're bad. Like I'm going to do it. So if that is Travis Kelce, if that is Chris Jones is in jail, ladies and gentlemen. If that event occurs, they would have brought the sheriffs out the tunnel. They would have exactly like he just $200 directly to jail. No $200 like nothing. There's no way on earth that flag stays in that official's pocket. Period.
Yeah,
at minimum, it's 15 yards. If you're not tossing him, fine. But at minimum, it is 15 yards. Ball is in field of play, not in the end zone. He didn't score a touchdown. He took his helmet off in the field of play. He screamed at the ref for 15 yards across the field. Shoulder bumps, chest bumps the ref. To which the ref just stares open-faced at him, frozen, and walks away.
So that's.
I'm sorry too.
So that's my point. I've watched that a couple times, and this is the only explanation that makes sense to me on
He
this.
just couldn't believe it happened?
No, I think that ref was afraid that so Judy was pissed. You could read in his body language, right? And so I don't know what he was saying, but whatever he's saying, genuinely, I think that ref was afraid. I think he thought if he pulled that flag out of his pocket, Judy was going to swing on him. So he was waiting on another ref to throw that. Listen, I'm not saying that's an excuse.
Unemployed. If you can't manage the game because you're scared of the person you're officiating, you don't belong on the field.
It is easy for us to say that, right? But when
As
we've
an
got
official,
grown men, no.
As an official in sports, with other grown men, if you can't manage that game, you don't belong on that field. And if you know that as a person, you shouldn't put yourself out there.
But the only explanation I can give him is that he, based on Judy's body language, I think he froze because he was scared. I thought
the NFL can't allow
he
him
thought
to game.
That the flag would have escalated the situation, and I think he was waiting on another referee to throw the flag, right? Somebody who wasn't directly in front of him. Because it is antagonistic to pull that flag out. I'm not saying that he should have been a coward. I mean, been afraid or whatever.
But I think that his thought process threw it at Travis Kelce in Travis Kelce's face, like that antagonistic.
I understand. I'm not
separate
saying
incidents.
but they all do different things. I'm not saying he did it right. I'm saying the only logical explanation I have is he was afraid and he wanted somebody else.
The only logical explanation is the man is not professional enough to do his job.
I mean,
that might be part of it.
I've read headlines about Judy in the offseason.
If he's afraid to make that call, he's afraid. And he's not professional enough to do his job. Because as a professional, you cannot be afraid to do your job.
Well, and like I said, it could have also been a situation where he was trying not to escalate Judy. And I agree with you. I don't disagree. But I'm just saying that to me is the thought. That's the only thought process that makes sense to me.
There is no gray area. There is no gray area. It's black and white. No gray area.
I'm not saying he should have been tossed because I think 100% think he should have been tossed. I'm saying it was so. I've never seen anything like that in a game before.
You and I are on the same page there. I have never, ever, ever in my life watched an official get punked verbally and physically and get no reaction, no call out of it.
Like I said,
hell, we watched an official run across the field and run into a player on purpose last year to then throw said player out of a game. That happened.
Yeah.
365 days ago or less.
I agree. Like I said,
officials wilding. These officials are wilding.
I hope that the NFL will do something about it.
I hate that we talk about this shit every fucking week. And I'm sorry for the language, but it's every
we're gonna put an explicit tag on our first YouTube video. Thanks.
I told you we were going
demonetized
from the immediate.
Demonetized.
All right, yeah, you're gonna have to write us a check.
Hey, Tom might have a point, and you both have a point. You're both correct, actually.
Everybody's correct here, except for the refs.
We should at least got a flag for the helmet, at least.
Oh, the helmet, the bump bothered me more than anything.
The bump is an auto toss.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't. Again, like you put, there have been less egregious.
Did he get fined after the game?
I think he's getting fined.
I think he did.
He's going to get fined.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
So NFL just like, yeah, we're wrong.
What is that? 5 weeks in a row of a foul occurring on the field of play for the Chiefs that should have been 15 yards that wasn't and was a fine later.
Yeah, I will say it's been a weird year for that. The calls
has been a weird year for that.
Haven't been there, so.
You mean the officials have been awful? Shocking.
If Bates got 50 for faking an injury,
and the Saints got 550 for Cam Jordan's,
what is a logical fine number?
He should be suspended. He contacted an official. He should miss a game.
Yeah, they I think I read that they're not going to suspend him, but they are going to look at a fine. I would guess he's probably.
That makes sense. He'd have been ejected if they called it right on the field.
I'm going to guess they're going to hit him like a $750,000 fine. That'd be my guess.
There's no logic or consistency to anything that they do on a disciplinary or punishment level at the NFL, and I can't understand it.
Yeah.
So Tom's saying he literally played that game for free.
No, because he makes more than that.
No, he's still on his rookie contract.
He's on his rookie deal still. They haven't given him his extension yet? Or is his extension not kicked in yet?
No, he doesn't have an extension yet. I don't think they've
Well-
even picked up his 5th-year option yet.
I guess at least he played the game
Probably
for free,
not.
even though he was still allowed to play the game and allowed to score 2 or 3 touchdowns and like an extra 100 yards because he wasn't ejected.
I mean, that's going to be a
immediately.
pretty big fine for him. Let's see what he's making this year. Let's look it up right now.
So
I was
Let's
thinking
really,
like 25.
let's really analyze
but
this.
I was thinking probably like 25.
I think it's gonna be
I'm
pretty
not
big.
sure. On a more
I
positive
think it
note,
might be bigger than that.
on a more
Jerry
positive note,
Jeudy
if we want to
knows
spin
punishment is coming.
this away, I think we've talked a lot about the officials so far, and it's very consistent that obviously there's things that needs to be changed. We're not going to change anything with this podcast, unfortunately.
No.
But hopefully, someone up in the higher ups kind of realizes that like all these mistakes, like I don't know, that there's be more accountability from the NFL themselves. And it's one of those things. It's like, all right, we'll do an internal investigation, and then they just investigate themselves, and they're like, you know what? I think it's fine. I think it's actually fine.
We think it's
Everything's
fine.
Yeah, the
I wanna
FBI
ask Tom
investigated
about-
itself and found no wrongdoing. I am stunned.
Exactly. I think it's one of those
Like,
situations. Like the NFL is the only one who's going to be able to hold the NFL accountable. So we just got to hope that someone comes along and kind of starts
If
holding
the
some
owners,
accountability
if the
there in the
owners'
refs.
pockets weren't continuing to overflow, they would care. They don't.
Yeah,
I want to ask
that's
Tom
true.
about Trent McDuffie's pass interference. How'd you feel about that? Kyle, I already know how you feel.
It was.
So
I
I'm
mean,
asking Tom.
it was ticky tacky. I mean, and there's always a handful of those every game, and it just you could by the exact letter of the law or of the rule, could you call it? Yeah, but if you called it that way consistently, you would call that on every play. So
I assume the flag was just stuck in his waistband for a solid 5.5 seconds after the penalty occurred before it landed on the field.
Yeah, of course. It
it's-
just comes in. Yeah, 10
After
seconds
the
just-
later.
pick and the guy's
again-
10 yards
Didn't-
downfield, the flag comes out. Crazy.
Didn't
Yeah.
Justin Watson have a questionable one too in the end zone? Was that this game?
I'm trying to remember. I was
Was it
watching the
this game?
game. I was watching the game at a
wanna say that
bar,
maybe it
so
was
it was
last
hard
game.
to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, no,
Because I feel like if they don't call that, then that's another 7 points off the board for Denver.
yeah,
No doubt.
yeah.
no
I mean,
doubt.
again, it's.
I mean, it's an interception, right? Like, it was a pick. Or is that? I'm sorry, am I mixing the one up from 2 weeks
No,
ago? where it
that's
was-
the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, sorry, that was the
Yeah,
Cincinnati game
that's
where,
also
where
last
that
that
yeah,
was
was
2 weeks ago.
which was also stuck in his pocket for 5 seconds. I apologize. There seems to be a theme here.
Seems to
And
be a
ladies
theme.
and
The
gentlemen-
refs conjure up some refs or some flags.
Ladies
for the
and
Chiefs.
gentlemen, Carl Sheffers Sunday.
All right. Hey, at least that means, according to the
We
stats
gotta-
and the analytics, that this should be the last time he's reffing the Chiefs this year, unless
God.
we run into him
we
in the
gotta-
Super Bowl.
We gotta turn
He
this
can't
around.
possibly be a playoff ref.
This is our 100th episode. We gotta
Yeah.
get rid of this
So-
negative energy.
Yeah,
We're
we've
not
gotta go
talking
on to
about
some
Carl Sheffers
positivity.
on episode 100.
Yeah, we cannot give Carl Sheffers the light of day.
The
I'm sorry.
we get so let's go positive here. We get Trent Green and Kevin Harlan on the call, which is the good thing. It's going to be at least a pleasant
About time.
listen.
Okay.
The defense did their job at the end of the game, and look, man, Russell did his thing until he couldn't do his thing, and shout out to him. And then that they took care of business. That was all great.
Yeah.
I
last-
want to see them. I want to see them finish games like Tom said. I'm not going to freak out over this being closer than it should have been. If that
Do you think that they were aggressive? Do you think they were aggressive in trying to finish this game though?
not really,
Not until they had
it
to
got
be.
not until it mattered.
Yeah, not until
not
literally
until-
like that's kind of the thing. Like it's literally like it's how I approached essays in high school. It's kind of a similar thing. You're given like a 2 week, you're given a 2 deadline, and then you just do it the night before because you have to do it. So it's just like boom.
High
let's
five,
just,
Garrett.
Let's just
High
get
five,
it done.
Garrett.
Exactly.
We are the
Exactly,
same.
like,
sir.
It's
You do that in high school? I did that in college.
High
I-
school,
I
college.
mean, college. I was in college for a year, so
now,
yeah, I did that in college as well. I
life.
mean, it's just a thing. Like when you need to get something done, your brain and your
Are you
body
saying
will
they
just get it done.
procrastinate? Are you saying they procrastinate in these games?
They definitely lollygag. A little bit of lollygagging, maybe you could say. Yeah.
I mean, I can see procrastination a little bit.
I
Yeah.
one time wrote a 10-page paper on a book I didn't read in 2 hours. and
Yes,
got
sir.
an A-
There
on
you go.
it. That was my
Been there, done
proudest
that.
college accomplishment.
All you have to know is how to write an
Spark
essay,
notes,
and you're good.
baby. Spark notes and essay
Yes,
writing
sir.
skills.
I didn't
All you
even
Listen-
use Spark Notes. I was just pulling
Kids,
out
do
quotes
not
from like a
listen
page,
to
writing a paragraph.
Disclaimer to all college, high school, and prepubescent children who might be going to school: do not listen to this podcast for homework,
Yeah,
study
don't do
advice,
this.
or anything.
You should
going forward.
study. Just actually study. Yeah.
Yeah, do
'Cause-
your homework.
Yeah.
your
But
homework.
last positive note to take out of this game, the Denver game. Travis Kelce set some records. Kyle, I know you got the Kelce jersey on today
Yeah, I had to.
for
I
a
had
very
to.
special reason. Yeah.
He's
Mr. 10K.
he's top 5 in the NFL in wide receiving as a tight end. He's over 1,000 yards. Again, we are now 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons,
Twice as much as the next closest.
and I think +1 because the other guy has
Yeah.
3 consecutive. So yeah, we have reached territory that's so far out of the realm of what we've seen from the position that it's not even a discussion anymore. Frankly, I'm not even going to entertain the discussion anymore. It's not worth the effort and energy. He's the best we've ever seen at the position. He does all of the things at the position, and if you don't think he can block, you can argue with the wall you run into when you try to go past him when he is blocking. Go ahead, go for it. He's the only guy that I've seen that basically gets to make it up as he goes at will on his routes from one of the most offensively innovative head coaches in the history of the sport. So, like, when you get to be able to have that kind of reign, you've reached a certain level of greatness, and that's where we're at. He's so far ahead of everybody else that's ever, and hats off to all the tight ends that have ever played the position through all the eras. It's great. All those eras built and progressed the tight end position to where it is currently. Okay? That's how these things work. The running back position has evolved over the entire history of the sport. All of these positions have. All of them. The quarterback position, the end position.
Quarterback's heavily evolved.
Look at the evolution in the game. That's why we have these conversations about who's the best to ever do it, and it's so hard. But when you really look at it, all the stuff before evolved us to this point, and he's the best we've ever seen do it, and he's putting up numbers that blow everything away. And it's not close. And it's strictly not the part where he does it against one type of player because, well, the linebackers were bigger then, or the corners were smaller then. Well, guess what? He beats linebackers.
Everybody.
He beats corners. He beats safeties. And not your third string linebacker or your second corner. He's torching guys that are going to be in a hall somewhere someday, some of these instances. Like, it is what it is, but he's the best that we've ever seen do it, and it's not close. So is Derwin James.
So
those are certifiably your number one cornerback and number one safety in the NFL right now, according to just about everybody, right? Those are pretty much consensus 1 and 1. When they're healthy, those are the guys.
I think Derwin James is overrated, but anyways.
That's
so
fine.
So is Jalen Ramsey, but anyways.
Again, that's fine, but that is pretty much the consensus around the league. Those are your top players.
Yeah.
He makes them look stupid routinely. And they're not bad football players.
Yeah. Travis Kelce.
So
Denzel Ward still doesn't know where Travis Kelce is, and it was 2 years ago.
Stupid. So I met Travis Kelce his rookie year. It had to be his rookie year because he was injured with the cast. What did he hurt? What did he hurt?
ACL, wasn't it?
It's so long ago.
I think
it was an ACL.
Was it ACL?
Good
I'm fairly certain it was.
I don't think it was that serious.
It was something. Easy.
Oh, he had knee surgery.
Okay, so working club level, Travis Kelce is limping around, a whole bunch of dudes around, like, yo, that's Travis Kelce. And the dude says, who's Travis Kelce? Never mind. He's our tight end. We just drafted him. You'll know about him later. Walk up on Travis Kelce like, "What's up, man? You know they got you walking around. You're injured. You should be sitting down somewhere." Long story short, I end the conversation by telling Travis, "You are gonna be the spark to this offense. I swear to God. I put this on my kids. I told Travis Kelce, you are gonna be the spark to this offense." This is when we had Alex Smith still too. And he's like, man, come on, don't say that. You know, we got a good team. No, you are the key, buddy. And he has yet to prove me wrong.
Yeah, you actually undershot it a
Travis
little bit.
Kelce is he was so open that everybody put their conspiracy hat on. He was so open. Well, I think Denver said, "Okay, you guys, we'll let him get the record. Just let us score 21 points."
He was so open. It happens like twice or three times a game. I look up and Patrick throws a ball, and I'm like, "Oh, there's
Just
Travis.
no
Well, somebody's
one.
got to be nearby." And there's nobody for 20 yards in any direction. And then everybody's like, "Well, how did he get 40 yards after the catch?" Nobody was near him.
Travis looks he actually looks slow. Actually,
He does.
That's I
He's
think
just,
why he's so
but
successful.
he's so
being
big.
fast.
That's why.
he does
He's
the
a big
same
guy.
spin move. He can do it in a variety of ways. He's very clever. He's very cunning. It doesn't look fast, but it is fast. But he's just so good at it. He can get you leaning one way, spin back, and he's gone for 10 more yards. And you're
He
looking like,
understands
what happened?
leverages in a way
Yeah,
that
leverage,
other people just
body
simply
control.
do not. And
He's just a huge dude.
so we talked
He's
about
a big guy.
we
moving
talked
around.
about the part where I had to go look up what his injury was because it's been so long since he's been hurt. Part of that is body
we gotta
control.
be careful. I'm knocking on wood right now, just for the record.
Yes.
Yeah,
Me too.
body control, his body control and his ability to avoid big hits because of the way he gets tackled when guys come in and try to hit him. He doesn't take a lot of extra shots. So his injury was a microfracture procedure for some cartilage in his knee. They thought it was a bone bruise. Had to go in and clean out some yucky excess microfracture, cartilage, nasty stuff. 2013.
Would you say he's like a Marcus Allen? With that, what you just said, that he doesn't take big hits. Because Marcus Allen never took a clean hit.
I think that's
ever.
one of the reasons he's probably been so good at being available all the time. He doesn't take, like, you guys remember when we watched, like, hey, Gronk's great. I watched Gronk a lot. When Gronk used to catch the ball, he would take some absolute shots. And I'm like, that just doesn't seem sustainable. And sure enough, yeah, because he was big and he liked contact. But it's similar to conversations that were discussed when it comes to some quarterbacks that invite contact. It wears you out over time. It takes a toll on the body over time. He does not welcome contact unless he has to. And then that's on you if you get in the way. And that's a whole different ball game. But for the most part, he's dodging the dude trying to take his legs low and he gets touched on the ankles instead, or doesn't take the big shot to the chest over the middle, partially because the quarterback isn't hanging him out to dry to get killed all the time, which is nice. But
that does help.
Also true.
He avoids big, like we see a lot of nasty knee injuries off cornerbacks and DBs going low on wide receivers because it's a nature of the business. When you get a lot of speed, but they can't hit them high, so they go low. One of the things he's really good at is getting them feet up off the ground just a little bit, so there's nothing holding them there, so he just gets clipped a little and just kind of lays down afterwards. He doesn't get his foot planted and get split underneath and get the thing bent out. Like it's a way of controlling things that are happening that he's probably not thinking about. It's one of those when he talked about the blackout stuff. It's just a natural reactional thing for him, but it's one of the reasons I think he's been successful.
When's the last time
happens to Travis?
I'm sorry, Tom.
If anything happens to Travis, it's on Kyle, guys.
I've knocked on every piece of wood. I've knocked on every piece of wood that is near me, and I'm wearing.
When's the last time you seen Travis squared up and really hit?
That Derwin James tackle, which wasn't really squared up and hit.
Oh,
Travis
That
was
has
moving
some help
upwards.
too.
Yeah.
Also a
Yeah, he
penalty.
kind of jumped
anyway.
up. Also
Yeah.
penalty.
He
Listen,
jumped.
the summary of that is
No.
Travis Kelce is a greatness
Just
in
saying.
and setting the standard of literally every single aspect of the tight end position.
Hey,
All
the
right,
100
serious
episodes.
question. Serious question. Catch Tony Gonzalez.
As far as what?
Yards.
I think he's going to have 2 more years of like 1,000. I could see him going 2 more years, 1,000 yards. That's going to put him.
About 9. I mean, well, 11.
Well, okay, so he's got 1045 right now. Let's say he finishes the year
How much does
with
Tony have?
15,127. So I think he'd have to
I think
play
he
into
probably
probably.
does.
Well,
He'd
here's the
probably
thing.
have to play to 38.
He's gonna get Tony's Chiefs yardage by the end of this season, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Which
that
is
should be,
what?
His
that should
Chiefs
be
yardage is
automatic.
10,940.
Yeah,
Tony's
Okay.
Chiefs yardage is 10,940. And
Tony did have a
he
really
got
long career.
4,100 yards in Atlanta. Yeah, Tony played for
How long did
21 to
Tony play? He was
37?
like
17
40
years.
17?
17.
Yeah, he was
Seasons?
37 when he retired.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
So just
Yeah.
for perspective, Travis has played 9.
10. 9?
Yeah, well, yeah, this is year 10, I believe.
Yeah, rookie year was a wash.
So
If you look at the
2013,
number, so
he played 1 game, 1 snap. 2014 to 2022, essentially 9 years worth of playing time. He has 10,045 yards. So in 4 less seasons than Gonzalez played in Kansas City, he's 900 yards short of him.
Yeah, so this is some greatness that we have to
And I'm
appreciate
sorry, but like
as Chiefs fans.
Tony 2 years ago already said Travis had surpassed him, so I'm gonna stick with
Oh yeah,
what
I mean
Tony
that's
said.
not even a question anymore. Definitely. So
And
Travis Kelce, listen,
well,
shout
and
out
for
to Travis
me-
Kelce. Yeah.
Sorry, but Tony's still better than Gronk too. So sorry about it.
So
People can deal with that one.
now
they
that
want.
we've given Travis Kelce
I was
his
going to say
flowers.
something there. I was going to say something. I think.
Gronk
Don't kill
played
me,
with
but I
Tom
thought
Brady.
Aaron
Tony
Hernandez-
Gonzalez
I
played
thought
with.
Aaron Hernandez was better than Gronk for a little while.
Oh,
Don't
look, we
kill
made
me,
it.
but Aaron
Episode-
Hernandez.
Okay, we gotta. I think we gotta
Episode 100.
transition this one.
And
I
now
think we
we're
gotta
getting
transition this
canceled.
one. Listen, we are playing the Houston Texans this coming up Sunday. We've already kind of given our thoughts. Basically, we think the team layout is gonna go. Let's just go around here quickly. Give a quick
Have
kind
you
of.
seen how injured they are?
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that real quick. So, actually, first and
Really?
foremost, before we get to the Texans, we do have a couple injuries of our own to talk about quickly. Mecole Hardman activated his practice windows for the IR, so he is likely going to be back this upcoming Sunday. Kadarius Toney, as well as probably, maybe they'll hold him out one more week. Who knows about him? Either way, the Chiefs are getting back some wide receiver help, which is going to be very critical because I think the offense has missed Mecole Hardman a lot in his absence.
Oh, do you?
I've been saying that for. I'm glad
Mm.
people are now jumping on the Mecole Hardman bandwagon. It's
Took long
it's
enough.
lonely.
I know, Tom.
The
You sit
heat
on the
is
big fan
on.
all
You
you
got
want.
marshmallows.
Listen, he's
fireplace.
got to.
It's very
It's-
comfortable. It's a lot of space. But
We got couches.
welcome to the Mecole Hardman
We've been here
bandwagon.
for a while.
I've been here for a while. So
I'll devil's advocate for Tom. I'm down to see Mecole Hardman get have a great rest of the season and then get paid somewhere else.
Yeah, that's cute.
Go ahead and get paid
I'm
somewhere else.
pretty neutral. If they think they're going to keep him, they can keep him. But I don't know.
I want him to get a big, fat, juicy New York Jets contract.
Anybody
Okay,
see
Tom,
what
would
this
you rather
red zone
have-
offense has looked like in the last 3-4 weeks?
Tom, would you rather have MVS or McCall?
That's like asking
Neither.
if I want.
Can I
to
have
step on
neither of them?
broken glass or nails barefoot? Like,
Okay, do you
Uh,
want broken
well,
glass?
Congratulations, you get to choose, sir.
Probably the nails, huh?
Reminder: MVS is like 16 million next year.
I mean,
And Mecole.
McColl's going to be pricey.
We don't
'cause
know
he
what
runs
McCall
fast.
is yet, but MVS is. We know at least. I
Did
think
you
he's
see what
Someone's
Christian
gonna
Kirk
get-
got paid? Did you
Someone's
see what
going to
Christian
give
Kirk got
Mecole a
paid?
bag. Yeah,
Someone's-
someone's going to give
yeah,
Mecole a bag.
McColl's-
The New York
McColl's
Jets
gonna
would give
do
him $80 million right now.
McColl's going to dupe some team into paying him.
I don't know about the Jets.
top
They've got
10
their own
money.
issues. They need a quarterback.
So
first.
I
Patched up
I
with
personally don't like MVS.
Some
Can I just keep Juju? Is that an option? Can we?
Oh,
can I pick
Juju, I think
think
we are all
Juju's
in universal agreement. We would like to
So,
see stay
Yeah, I
in a
think
Chiefs
Juju's
uniform.
automatic.
Yeah.
So
no
here's
doubt.
the thing: if like MVS can't catch, he catches like 1 in 6 balls. Like he has so many drops. It's like 1 in 4.
50-50. Don't be that way. It's 3 out of 6. It's
Mm.
every other ish.
I would say it's every
I
other.
don't
Yeah,
know,
50-50
man. It's looking
sounds
like
about
2
right
out
to
of
me.
6 to me.
It's
looking-
50. I know that there's reactions to them because they're bigger drops, but it's about 50.
He had a couple of big catches that game. That
He's
one,
a roller
Yeah, he
coaster.
He
The
the,
dude
did.
is
that
literally
Pat
a
scrambled out to
walking
the
roller
right.
coaster.
and
Yeah.
he
He's
hit.
got 6
yeah.
drops on the season, which is tied for second. Oh,
Not
this is
good.
weird. Travis Kelce is first in the league in drops with 7. I did
Surprise.
not expect that. So
I did.
Yeah.
He's had a
I
couple
did as
really,
well.
after
really
these
bad
last
ones
2
this year.
weeks.
And
Probably
like 2 in the
anyways.
last 2 weeks.
McColl
Yeah.
or MVS, I'm gonna go with.
Just say McColl. I can
Just
see
say
it in
McColl.
your beard.
It's
Just
okay.
say McColl.
I can see it all in your beard. It's saying McColl.
It just
I
hurts
see.
me
I
because
don't
it
know.
just hurts them because they've both been just telling me for so long that there's no avenue that he should be on this roster, and now Tom is currently fenced. And,
No,
and
no,
is
no. Okay,
Neutral,
it's
doomed.
a good
Doesn't care
question.
either way.
It's
So
a good
now
question.
he's stuck. Now he's stuck.
I-
Now he doesn't know what to do.
I think McColl has more versatility, but I don't, like even though he's fast and can be a vertical threat, he doesn't. He's not a
Who
vertical
makes a
threat. in the
bigger
sense of,
impact
like-
on this team?
Let him answer the question, Kyle.
It's the same question. It's the same question worded differently.
Probably McColl. Yeah, probably McColl.
And you have your answer.
Okay, so even
Cut them both.
this is cool.
That's my answer.
We got 2 on McColl. We got 2 against. Have you noticed McColl's disappearance? Have you noticed him not being on the field?
I mean, yes, but also no. Sometimes.
Not really.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
notice
kind of,
it.
but no.
No. Okay. So do me a favor and look up this team in the red zone over the last 4 weeks.
I don't want to. It's been bad.
I don't want to.
Weird.
I don't want to do that.
Okay,
I don't
so
want
let
to
me
do that,
ask you
Kyle.
this.
How about that?
Who's been missing the last 4
Hold on.
weeks?
Hold on, Country.
Darius
We're
Toney.
gonna go through this. Go through this. Who has been running the jet sweep end around motion?
Not anybody good.
Not anybody
Sky
good.
Moore
Well, that's
or
not good because
Justin
that's a
Watson?
rookie you just drafted.
Well, that's not good.
No.
So here's the thing.
All right.
Here's the thing. Sky Moore has been the one running the motions. They've given him the ball 1 time on that motion. Do you know what the difference was? It looked like he was running in quicksand in comparison to the other 2 individuals when you hand them the ball. It changes the dimension of this offense that they have down around the goal line that makes them as dangerous and nasty as they've become because they have nobody currently to run that motion and run the plays that they run off of it, that they run counters off of, the Travis shovel pass through the middle, the fullback dive up the gut when somebody's running around with McColl out the side and takes a guy out of the box, the rollouts that they're not getting for free because there's an extra defender sitting on the backside because McColl's not running the guy off to the other side of the field because they have to respect his speed because if they don't, he gets walk-in touchdowns off the end of the flat. He makes a drastic difference on this team inside the 20-yard line, and they've been god-awful the last 4 weeks with it, and he's a big part of why. And you can say Kadarius Toney and all that, but Kadarius Toney ran those plays for all of like 3 times total. McColl's been doing it for 2 years, and they trust him to do it, and he scored how many touchdowns this year before he was out with that? Off of those plays, in the red zone, doing those things? He's a huge piece of why this red zone offense has been absolutely lackluster the last 4 weeks.
So the Houston Texans.
Hopefully we get both those guys back for the Houston Texans. Although
I would love to
this
have
should
them
be
both back.
this really should be, and we didn't get a chance to talk about the Broncos
30
game last
snaps.
week, but this really should be kind of more of a tune-up game for the offense. Well, for the whole team, really. Like this is
Knocking on wood.
the Broncos are a bad team, and we knew that going into it, but at least they have like some talent there. Houston Texans are
Don't tell
about
Dallas fans that. Don't tell Dallas
bottom of the
fans that.
barrel. Yeah.
Don't-
Yeah, the
But-
Texans.
Can we
Well,
touch
but we
on-
say that,
can we
but the Texans have been in some close games this year. So
I don't know.
So here's the thing. Here's the
How do
thing,
they bounce
and
back
we'll-
after Dallas? Because they got up for Dallas.
Yeah,
They kind of,
yeah.
I think they might have used all their juice for Dallas. I'm not gonna lie. That
It's
might have been all the
possible.
magic.
I can see that.
Yeah, that might have been. I mean, they have two quarterbacks. You know, both of them aren't very good.
Whatever
They-
Davis Mills is.
the Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills, they split snaps last
Yeah.
week. And I'm not talking like
Good.
oh, dude played 2 drives, dude played 6 drives. I mean, they split the exact same number of snaps last week.
As Justin Reed said, it was a good. They got a good 1-2 punch at quarterback. You know, always something to think about.
Hey Tom, hey Country, I have a question. What's the phrase? If you have 2 quarterbacks,
You
You
don't
got
have
none.
none.
Yeah, that's pretty relevant to the Houston Texans this year. So Bryce Young, congratulations, you are a Houston Texan. But
Very
yeah,
good.
I got a question. As good as Tony is, and I think he has a lot of potential on his offense. I see a lot of people saying hold him out to the playoffs. I disagree because how many snaps has he had with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, you definitely got to get him into the offense.
Yo, people that are saying that, I need you to stop and I need you to think about what Andy does with every time he brings a guy back from injury. What happens for the first game that they come back from injury?
They don't play very much.
Huh, Tom, on average, just a guess, because I looked this up briefly earlier, but on average, how many snaps would you guess that guys coming back off of injury play in their first game back?
15 to 20.
You're being nice.
10 to 15.
No, it's 20. It's 22, actually, I think, if I did the math rather than like the last 5 or 6 guys. I think Juju played 35. There was a couple others, like, I think when they brought Sky back from his little, whatever the thing he had for like 5 seconds or whatever it was, he played like 4 snaps. The game they brought McCole back earlier this year after he sat out with that little, or he missed a couple of days with that weird ankle thing from when he got folded in San Francisco. He played like 12 snaps. Like, they don't play guys when they come back off of injury a ton of snaps because they don't want to make sure that they have their legs under them, that they're not going to re-injure stuff, that we're not going to have. And again, everybody in the room can knock on wood. I really like Kadarius Toney. I just don't necessarily want Sammy Watkins 2.0 with them hamstrings, boys and girls, because we are a year and a half in and we've had a lengthy hamstring / maybe it was a hamstring injury in New York, and now one here.
Marcus Mariota hamstring injury.
Let's just be a little cautious. Everybody loves Tony. I get all that. Everybody sees the potential. I see the potential. I see it. But I want to be a little cautious about depending on him until we see him do it for longer than 2 weeks.
Also, the second part, Garrett and Tom, we haven't seen the dynamic of McCole and Tony at the same time. Is there any way that we can put them there together at the same time that would maybe change your mind about McColl's future?
Tom, you're not drooling currently.
If you want to,
and I'm concerned.
If you want to pair, I mean, I would definitely be curious about the future of a Mecole Hardman, Darius Toney 1-2 punch as a kind of a speedy receiver duo with Juju on the outside.
Can we go 2-3 punch with Juju as the
2-3
and the slot guy?
Yeah, just either
way.
So
we don't have Chiefs Kingdom
playmakers
out absolutely insane expectations on guys based on their number in the system depth chart.
Exactly, labeling them wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but I don't know. It would be curious to see how if because I guess that would kind of just be what we've seen with like Tyreek and Mecole on the field at the same time in a sense. You still got the double speed options.
That seems mildly terrifying, I think, if I remember right. I know it's been a little bit since we've seen it.
That did seem pretty good.
I feel like that seemed pretty good. I'm not telling you Kadarius Toney is Tyreek Hill, by the way, kids.
No, nobody's Tyreek Hill.
If you can stretch the field in 2 directions at the same time, Tom, what does that do to a defense? Oh, we're having trouble. I think Tom's having some troubles.
That's the perfect answer.
I mean,
that's what the defense does. No, that is the perfect answer. That's what the defense. Yeah, they power down. They freeze.
Power down. It's called no bueno. You have 11 guys on the field on defense, and if you have to cover all of the grass horizontally and all of the grass vertically that is on the field in front of an offense, it becomes a chore that is near impossible for defenses to do. Part of the reason we saw so much success with Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman on the field together. It's really hard to cover in two directions simultaneously. So now that Tom's had to restart his computer like DCs do every time they have to figure out how to cover a field vertically and horizontally simultaneously, Tom, what does that do to defenses?
Listen, it's not. We can't have our 100th episode without me having some type of technical difficulties that cause me to have to pop out of here for an undisclosed amount of time.
Oh no. Oh no.
And again,
At least the power didn't
because-
get Tony and McCole on the field at the same
Oh
time.
jeez.
You have two dynamic playmakers. Again, you can do. You talked about like Tyreek and McCole. Like you can have those double motions. You can have, where you're pressing them vertically, and then you can have another one on the crossers. And I think that's where McCole, like he's not a straight line vertical guy, but he can get distance on those crossing routes, just like Tyreek used to. And I think Kadarius plays well because he can be that vertical guy, right? He can push the defense vertically and make some of those, more just straight line, those, call them the 9 routes or the fly routes, like we saw him do earlier in the year. So I am excited to see both of them on the field at the same time. I think, again, the wide receiver core getting healthy for the playoffs is going to be pretty important. So
what is
however we need to
Kadarius
do
Toney
that,
going
let's
forward?
hopefully we roll in healthy and strong on that front.
Also, Tom, what is Kadarius Toney going forward?
Well,
No, not
biggest thing
the
is just
player,
gonna
not
be-
the player. I'm sorry, that's an open-ended question. That's not fair for a football podcast.
Tom
I
just,
apologize. I was hunting a certain answer, and I left you with a wide open-ended question. What is Kadarius Toney's contract going forward?
Cheap.
Ah, weird. So if you have cheap Kadarius Toney,
Cheap
Juju,
Sky.
cheap Sky, that leaves
Not
a
cheap
moderate
McCole.
Mecole contract.
We still need to pay a left tackle, Kyle. I don't know about this, but
No, according to y'all, we're
You drafted
drafting
a
that.
left
So
tackle.
I'm just
according to
playing.
y'all,
Yeah.
we're drafting that.
We're going to
Also
tag and
something-
draft it.
Listen,
also
that
something
would
to
be
bear in
another
mind-
25 minutes on the podcast.
Yes.
We want to discuss
Just
the
something to
left
bear in
tackle
mind. The
position.
salary cap is increasing.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Listen, these are all valid points to consider.
We didn't mention this in the
You-
Houston game.
you have to
Orlando
find
Brown
money
Jr.
for
was the
Juju
highest rated
first.
PFF tackle in that game. Just so we're all
PFF
aware.
sucks. We don't got to consider him. Anyways.
We have
Listen.
we have to find money for Juju first,
Yes.
and
We also need
Agreed.
edge
maybe
rushers.
that
No-
means
no
you move on
argument
from
there.
MVS.
We also need.
Yeah.
I think you're okay moving on from MVS, and
MVS,
then
MVS can go back to Green Bay
keep
and hang out
McCole.
or whatever.
Or maybe we can like, I don't know, we could trade McCole for DK Metcalf since McCole was drafted before him. I don't know,
Boom.
one of the two.
Tom figured it. Listen, Tom's figured it out. I think.
Hey,
long
Seattle's
term.
set up long term with Geno Smith. Tom, they're in the long haul.
Maybe
That's
yeah,
fair.
1-to-1 Geno Smith for the backup for Mecole. Anyways, no.
So the Texans.
Yeah. We've said some great things. We've said some great things about
Anybody-
this Texans game. I think
Anybody hear the Justin Reed interview today?
I hate Justin Reed. Anyways.
No, about the
Uh.
Texans, fool. That doesn't help me at all. Did anybody?
No,
He
Kyle,
said
what happened?
something about the Texans returning to the Texan culture. And what was it? I don't.
Country, you
What
don't
is the
recognize
Texans
that?
culture?
Texans
What was
have a
their
culture.
tradition? What was their
Yo,
culture?
Justin Reed just got 2 weeks on the Andy Reid crash course of media interaction and questionnaires titled the 2-week crash course edition is titled "You f***ed up, stupid. Don't say that again." And
I
he
think
got
that
that
you can
2-week
take the
crash
Marshawn
course.
Lynch approach.
got the
I'm
2-week
just
crash
here so
course.
I don't get fined.
And by
That's what you
next
should
week,
start doing.
by
yeah.
next week, we're gonna hear about how we're looking forward to the great challenge of playing against the best team we've ever seen next week ever. That's where we're headed. He's only 2 weeks into the 3-week crash course. We're almost there. We got
Yeah.
they're returning to the culture, and that's a great organizational fit. Is that why you left for pennies? What? Sorry. Yeah. I mean, look, y'all. The Texans suck.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot.
The
to say
Texans
here.
suck. There's not a lot.
Justin Reed
yeah.
decided to go to Andy Reid's "Don't Say Dumb Things in the Media" school. We saw that this week. I don't think we're going to have that problem going forward anymore. I doubt we see much more bulletin board material. Do we think that this is going to be a game? Anybody?
That's another open-ended question, Kyle.
Nobody?
You're good at those open-ended questions.
Well,
Does
it's
anybody
rare-
think that
it's
this is going to be a
rare
game? That this one
it's
isn't as
very-
open as it is the other one.
it's very rare Pat plays back-to-back terrible games. So
That's a good point.
Houston is going to be in for a long day. This isn't Dallas. It's not Dak Prescott. I think it's a lot of
Dallas has a
motivation
lot
on
better
both sides of
defense,
the ball.
though. Dallas has a lot better defense. We gotta consider that.
Do they? I don't. Never mind.
They have an edge rusher.
They have an edge. He's a Swiss Army knife, but yes, they have an edge rusher.
Yeah.
We have a Chris Jones. They don't.
So we're even.
It's even. I think we'll be fine then. I think, you know what? Just like that, I think we'll be fine. No, but I think
They're so beat up, dude. Like
there's
the
something to
Texans-
consider about this being a trap game, but this is just one of those things that I think it should kind of, and we say this every single time. We say this every single time, and I'm not sure we've hit one yet, but this should be to a blowout game than anything else that we've seen this year.
Listen,
so
if
that
the Chiefs lose to the Texans, I will get a tattoo of Country's face on my calf.
Oh. That went a different place than I thought. Okay, good. That's better.
Is that too confident?
that's pretty
We
confident.
can edit
Tom.
that out right now.
I wouldn't.
I
even
mean,
wanna
That's
see
pretty
that.
confident.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
want to see
I-
that, Tom.
I don't even
Hey,
know.
listen, I already
Country's
got
like,
the
I don't even
screenshot
see
over
that,
here.
bro. I
Tom,
don't
for
even
what
see
it's
that.
worth, I feel like you're pretty safe there, regardless of this.
You-
But
probably
you
pretty
could
safe.
You should.
I
You
feel
could
pretty
just
safe about
describe
it,
the Kingdom
but-
Cast for me.
Let me
You don't have
see
to
if-
do that.
let me see if this makes anybody else feel a little more confident in Tom's bet. So for Wednesday's injury report on the did not participate list, we currently
Price.
have Laramie Tunsil, out
Who we should maybe
illness.
trade for?
Derek Stingley out, did not participate, hamstring. Damon
forgot they have
Pierce,
Derek
he's
Stingley.
got a high ankle sprain. He's probably done for several weeks. He did not
Ooh.
participate. Steven
That's a
Nelson,
huge-
old friend alert, did not participate.
There's a lot of old friends alert
Justin
on the
McCray
Texans.
did not participate. Jerry Hughes, rest, did not participate. Malik Collins and Mario Addison, both rest days. Also, limited participants include Kenyon Green, Kurt Hinch, Roy Lopez, and Taylor Stallworth, who we just sent them after we cut him. Like, they are beat up and not good to begin with. So, I kind of expect this to be a running game to an extent. We've seen Andy occasionally just decide that a running back gets a game, and Clyde got his against the Houstons to start his career, right? Where he just got to go out and run the ball like 45 times right at him over and over again and kill him the whole game. Do you know anybody on that Texans defense that's going to willingly want to tackle Isaiah Pacheco 25, 30 times this game?
Not many. I'll tell you that much. Not many.
'Cause,
Isaiah Pacheco, 100 plus all rushing yard might be a spicy
Hmm.
little one to take.
That dude
might
is
be
going
spicy.
to, barring any stupid things happening, he's going to run the ball pretty frequently in this game.
Knock on wood.
And he's probably going to have quite a day. I would
I
expect.
imagine we'll even see some Ronald Jones this week.
You might.
I was just about to ask that. Can we see Ronald Jones, please?
I mean,
Please.
Might as well get some work.
I mean,
in
this
before
is
the
a good
playoffs.
tune-up game to put him in.
Hey,
and
Our guys
They-
fresh.
they apparently he learned how to catch somehow between Tampa and
Chad
here, 'cause
Henne
they
better
threw
stay
him a
warmed
pass
up
last
even.
time.
Chad Henne better get warmed up. Yeah.
Oh, Damian Williams did clear waivers, so
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be down to
That's a
listen.
tough one.
Yeah. So
Tom, let me ask you this: Melvin Gordon, Ronald Jones, or Damian Williams?
I mean, give me at this point in the season, give me Ronald Jones, but
Why?
we got Melvin
Exactly.
Gordon too.
he's been on the roster. He's been active.
Why
he's
either
been-
one? Yeah,
So-
Damian Williams has a Super Bowl ring with this roster. With
Yeah,
at
Damian
least
Williams
the
is also
important parts
old
of
and
this
hasn't
roster.
done much lately, and he didn't
Well,
do
Melvin
that. I
Gordon
mean,
is
he
allergic
had
to
a
the football,
beautiful
and Ronald
postseason.
Jones.
Listen, we can talk about third-string running backs a lot, but we have two.
Yeah, we should
At least
probably
two
use
really
our
good
guy
ones.
better than that.
So
It
I
doesn't
think
really
we've
matter.
I think we've kind of adequately covered the Texans game here.
I
Let's
expect
kind of
the
wrap
defense
this up.
to bounce. I expect the defense to bounce back.
They should. I mean, if they don't, it's going to be a tough look for them going
The
against
double quarterback
Jeff
thing.
Driscoll.
The double quarterback thing can make this a little more intriguing because it's basically two game plans.
Yeah, but they're not good quarterbacks, and the Texans are not a good team. So
Again, I said it makes it more interesting. I didn't say it makes it
it
necessarily.
makes
that
it
the
something.
result
It
should
definitely
be
is going to be a.
interest-
It's
should
going to be
any
a fun.
different.
It's
They've
it's
also
going to be a
been
fun
using
game of
one
I
of them-
Spy at quarterback.
They've been using one of them as a tight end intermittently. Also, one of the quarterbacks who's been trying his Taysom
Yeah.
Hill routine as a tight end.
That tells you everything you need to know about the Texans
It's a
and the state of the
whole-
franchise that they're in
It's
right
a
now.
whole
So
deal.
let's get some score predictions to wrap this thing up here. Kyle, start off with you. Give us the final score on Sunday.
Gross. I haven't even bothered looking at lines or points, spreads, or
You don't got to.
totals
You don't
or
got to. Just speak it
anything.
with your heart.
They're so much better than this team. It's just a matter of if they actually care. 35-14, 35-17, sleepwalky-ish game that they eventually just pull away from and dust. Like the Texans are beat up and terrible. Like if they don't do that, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. I don't feel bad about making the prediction because that's what they really should do to this team. And we'll see if they go out and do it.
Yeah, no doubt. Country, we got a final score prediction here.
Okay, you know I don't do numbers.
He doesn't do predictions.
I'm going a blowout, and I consider a blowout 10 to 14 point wins.
Okay.
So I would go that margin. I think I agree with running the ball is no need to really show a lot against the Texans. But the Texans also can make it a game, but I think they spent most of their game trying to beat Dallas. So we shall see. I think it's going to be a nice, comfortable win. We haven't had one of those in a long time. So that's what I'm going. 10 to 14 point W.
All right. Tom, what do we got?
I'm going 41-10. I think we're going to see that complete game. I think the defense is going to respond, and I think it's going to be, you know what? But yeah, we're going big. 41-10.
Yeah,
Texans.
I wish. I honestly wish. And I hope.
I'm kidding.
I'll take that.
No, yeah, not the Texans for sure. But listen, we've talked about how fine and dandy this game should be. Just for whatever reason, I feel like the Chiefs are going to do it to us once again and just give us a heart attack. It can never be easy. I'm going to go like 24-17, something a little closer. The defense is just going to make a couple errors. The offense is going to stumble their feet and only score 24 points or something stupid. We're still going to win comfortably. We'll all obviously not be super ecstatic, and Overreaction Monday should be a fun one as always. So, yeah, that about does this one.
I think Pat might want his MVP award back.
He better. I want to hope. I hope so because
I'm thinking 4 touchdowns, no interceptions this weekend.
Maybe like 350 yards, maybe sprinkle that in.
He's on pace still. He's still on pace for Peyton's yardage record. Last I looked, so
he's very petty. So
he is very petty, and he is.
I think Jalen Hurts.
Because remind me, Tom or somebody, Peyton's yardage record's pretty aggressive.
55, isn't it?
55 something. Yeah.
Pat just crossed 4 last game, right?
He is currently sitting this season, if this stupid thing will show me the yearly overview, at 4,160 yards.
Yeah, so he's gonna need some commanding games to get in that conversation.
We've seen him put 500 up on Houston before.
We have seen that happen. So
it's not
out of the realm of possibilities. If you're betting on this game, it might be a good one to really hammer some overs, because it should be a pretty good game from the offense, and the defense should be able to round it out.
His yardage total 54.77.
54.77. Okay, so that's the bar to clear. So that should about do it for this episode. Episode 100. We thank you all so much for tuning in to this one, watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, you could also, any podcast app you got, Apple Music, Spotify, all those podcast apps are on there. Check us out. Be sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to follow us at Kingdom Says Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Countryboi, thank you so much for coming on.
Before we go, I would like to say congratulations, you guys. Congratulations, Kyle, Garrett, Tom. You guys are all good at what you do. I appreciate you all. I consider you guys friends. I will never forgive Kyle for stealing Tom from me.
Look, man,
No,
I don't
it's
know how
an
many times
inside
we have
joke.
to talk
It's an
about
inside
that.
joke. It's an inside joke. But no, I'm proud of you guys, man. Keep pushing. You guys are doing good. You're well on your way. Finally got that YouTube that I've been asking for. I will be subscribing ASAP. I appreciate all you guys. I know Tom is ready to kill this draft, and Kyle got opinions for days, and Garrett got all the technical stuff behind the scenes that I need to talk to him about. So, Kingdom Kast, shout out to my team, Kylie, Chuck, Boogie. Subscribe, please. We need all the help we can get.
Thank you.
Yes,
We
sir.
love you.
Support
Country, for
Congratulations
making
to you
it.
support good
guys.
podcasts.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Country, for making it on tonight for the 100th.
Yeah,
We hope
appreciate
you
it,
guys
man.
enjoy the videos and the messages from the other folks who sent those in, which will be included here in either the middle or the end of this, depending on where producer extraordinaire Garrett decides to put them.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you guys that have come on as guests, have come on and talked to us, spent time with us. Our listeners who come out, who listen to all of our episodes, whether they should or not, whether it's a good episode or not. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming. We've got YouTube launching. We'll be doing some Q&A stuff. I'm sure Tom and I and some others will be doing some film work with draft prospects. There'll be a Discord for you all. There will be merch for you all. We are starting to ramp up where we're at now that we've hit this 100th episode, and stay tuned because one of the friends of the program is doing a solid with us and partnering up with us for a giveaway for this 100th episode. So you'll want to pay attention to that also. Tune into all the socials like Garrett said. And with that, Garrett, you can get us out of here.
Yes, sir. Tom, any closing words for the people at home?
A lot has been said.
Yeah.
Pulling back the curtain, we are recording very late at night. It is almost 1 a.m. It's 12:30. I have been sitting here for a few moments, mortified that I did exclaim publicly that I would get a tattoo of Country's face on my thigh, and it's going to be out there forever. So I'm hoping, as you guys have been expressing your gratitude, I am praying to whatever deity will listen that there's not an upset this weekend, because I know for a fact that the internet does not forget.
And I will I don't forget. I will be up there
We will all
be attending
remember
the
that one.
tattoo in person with Country. We're gonna go with Country. I'm gonna take the picture in the shop and put it on your calf, and then have the dude. It'll be a whole deal. It'll be
Boom.
on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. If they lose this game, Country's face will be on Tom's leg, and then I'll have to figure out how to get
It's
him
going to
cover
be
up.
bad. So,
Tom's leg
not gonna
thanks
lose.
for
on a
reminding me.
serious
We're not
note, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tolerating all the bumps and bruises. Especially, I know I'm the one who has all the technical difficulties and the loud, obnoxious dog. And thank you.
Oh, we love Scout.
To Garrett and Kyle for letting me talk about drafts prospects way too early. You guys don't know that I'm like, I just constantly send them mock drafts in our group chat.
15
like,
minutes
hey, look at this
after
prospect.
the draft,
And they're like, it's
15
the
minutes.
third week of.
No, dude, it was 15 minutes, Garrett. 15
Yeah.
minutes after the
He
7th
had
round ended. He had a mock draft in our
mock
inbox,
draft for next year.
ready to go.
Tom is about it,
Again,
guys.
Hey, man,
The
we
grind
love
never
him for it.
stops.
It is what it is.
King.
I did forget
But,
to shout out, and I will let Garrett go after Tom is done.
But thanks guys for putting up with us and growing with us, and we're excited for what's next.
Yeah, we really do appreciate everyone tuning in, listening, and watching now. So, to 100 episodes and to 100 more, thank you all for listening to this one, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
We out like the Denver Broncos playoff hopes. We out.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jordan Foote with SI Chiefs and KC Sports Network. Just wanted to congratulate you guys, man, on 100 episodes. That is, I can barely put into words how big of a deal getting to that magical figure is, man, where a lot of people have, stopped. You guys push through, whether it's 5 episodes, 10 episodes, 50 episodes, 75 episodes. Hitting triple digits is just a monumental accomplishment. Extremely proud of you guys, Tom, Garrett, and Kyle. You've always been great to me, always been awesome folks, always invited me with open arms on your show. And the work you guys do, like a lot of people do and attempt to do for Chiefs fans, is absolutely fantastic, man. I can just understand the drive, the passion that you guys have, that you truly do care about the Chiefs and the Chiefs fans. And I think that fan base does reflect in that, and is receptive to it. So the fans appreciate you. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of them. You guys do a fantastic job, and it's only the beginning, man. If you get through 100, you're going to get through 200, you're going to get through 300. You guys are going to take this thing to the moon. So once again, congratulations, heartfelt, just thank you for all you do, and keep it up. So thanks again.
Hey guys, it's me, Lance from the Spoken Podcast. 100 episodes. Man, I can barely count to 100. But I remember when our show reached episode 100 and how proud we were of that. Man, reaching episode 50 was huge for us because it was ironically 50 years from the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and our 50th episode fell on the week after the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl. So that was very fitting for us. It was something so poetic for us. But doubling that and getting to 100, man, that was something, a milestone. I did not know how we were going to reach it. I was very confident and very determined that we would. But getting there, man, we were so proud of that. And it's been great ever since. And you know, one of the best things about having a show like ours and getting to know the community of Chiefs fans and people that create Chiefs content is we've gotten to know the guys at Kingdom Says Podcasts, because you know, there's a lot of people out there that have their own ideas of what they want to do and they stay secluded and they don't really talk to anybody else. But the Kingdom Says Podcast guys have been good friends, man, and very welcoming, very warm, and guys that I quite frankly just respect, because I think they have a similar mindset that we have at the Spoken Podcast, which is everybody can eat, man. Everybody can get out here and make something of their own while also being a community. It's not a competition. It's about sharing a similar mindset and being able to go out there and share viewpoints and talk about them and debate them and have spirited debates, have fun debates, and discuss these things. And that's what it's all about. And I think these are the guys that really do get that. And that's why I respect these guys so much. And quite frankly, man, getting to 100 episodes, regardless of what your podcast is about, whether it's sports, politics, religion, entertainment, do you guys realize how hard it is to get to this level? I mean, most podcasts don't even get to 6, 7 episodes. And these guys now have gotten to triple digits. It's nothing short of amazing, man. And if you're listening to this episode, I hope you understand that you're watching and listening to an episode of guys that know what they're talking about. And I'm really proud of these guys. I know they're proud of themselves, and as they should be. And you should be proud that the time you're spending right now, you're listening to a show, you're watching a show of guys that have taken their time and have studied to show that they know what they're talking about, and you're not wasting your time. Guys, I am so proud of you guys. I couldn't be more proud of you guys. And I'm so glad that I can call you guys my friends. And to Kyle, to Tom, to Garrett, guys, keep kicking ass, man. You guys are doing an incredible thing. I love your guys' show. I love you guys. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. You guys are encouraging to me, encouraging to a lot of Chiefs fans out there. You have a great show. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being you guys. And I am so proud, so privileged to say that I've been on your guys' show. I'd love to be invited again whenever you guys need me. You know I got you. And I'm so glad that you guys have been on my show as well. And just keep having fun. That's what it's all about, man. I know every single week, every single episode we do at the Spoken Podcast, we always have a blast. And I know that you guys do the same. And I'm very, very fortunate to call you guys friends and fellow community drivers of the content that we have in the Chiefs Kingdom, man. So keep being who you guys are. Keep kicking ass. And best of luck to you guys in the next 100, man. I can't wait to celebrate episode 200 with you guys. Love y'all. Be good.
Hey, guys. It's Corey, the Artist Chief. I was on episode 30 of the Kingdom Says podcast. I'm so thankful that they had me on. I just want to say a huge congratulations to Kyle, Garrett, and Tom on their 100th episode. Can't wait for 100 more. I am so thankful for what you guys do, not only for Chiefs fans with your giveaways, just flat out entertaining us, the things you've done to promote charities and a social awareness of things, and how you've supported just the Chiefs artists in the Kingdom with your Kingdom series with the artists, and couldn't appreciate you guys more. It's a great show for anyone who's new to this experience. They really know what they're talking about. They're positive people. They got great draft coverage, very insightful. They know what they're talking about, and it's usually a good listen and a positive one at that. So if you're new to the channel, make sure and like, subscribe, leave a good review on the podcast, and cheers, guys. Love you.
Yeah, no, I know. That's not what I'm asking. No, what I'm asking is, what does the kingdom say? There's a podcast for that? Hi, everybody. Joshua Briscoe here, wishing you a happy 100th episode of the Kingdom Says podcast. I understand that 100 episodes of a podcast is a freaking lot to do, so congratulations on making the triple digits. But also, I've learned over the years that there is nothing that makes 100 episodes fly by quite like good football, and most importantly, really genuinely enjoying the people that you do the show alongside. That is obviously the secret ingredient, I think, for everything that I continue to do, because that's what actually makes it all fun. The football certainly helps, but congratulations on 100 episodes of not getting sick of each other, of enjoying each other's company, enjoying what the football is that we all get to talk about and watch on a weekly basis. Congratulations on hitting the bill mark.